Alright, so this is a review and reaction on PDC's album. It's called Pray Days Change. It's either an album or mixtape. It's called Pray Days Change. On top of it, it's got, in the artwork, it says poverty driven children, and then at the bottom of it says Pray Days Change, but in the middle it's like it says PDC and the background is black, but the writing is like chrome silver. But anyway, there's basically, I believe there's like 28 tracks. Yeah, 28 tracks on this mixtape or album. So there's S West London, Straight Tuggy, Up the Skirt, Nobody's Child, Paper Chase, PDC for Life, Listen, Street Fam, FUCK, Fuck With Us, Hood Rich, Morning Comes, God in My Heart, Can You Tell Me, Troubled, We're Back, Streets Are Crazy, Sometimes, / Liberty, Anthem, The Streets, Rebels, Brand New Strap, Real Niggas, Fallen Soldiers, Tell Me Daddy, and The End. Little backstory to this album or mixtape. I first come. This was released back in 2004, I believe. It has to be 2004. Yeah, 2004. And was it? Yeah, around. It was around 2004. But yeah, I remember in I first came across that CD. Like, yes, it was a CD. When I was in college, and I remember seeing it in a like in the computer I was in, sitting down. Like, I was thinking, raw. Like, I go inside just to paint a picture. Basically, in college, I can't remember what room it was in, but it was definitely in the classroom. And I'm not gonna say what college it was, like, but anyway, and yeah. So basically, I went, like, because it was time for a lesson, innit? I sat down at the computer and it's like, raw, there's a CD in there. Like, because I think I saw the list on the iTunes thing, and I'm like thinking, raw, this is interesting. And I can't remember the proper details, but I do remember listening to it. And I was like, raw, this is decent. I like this. And I think I was telling my friends and that, like the man them, like, about it. And then I was like, oh, raw, if no one will come for this CD, this is mine. Find its keepers in that. So, yeah, no one came for it. I was actually shocked. I'm like, yep, mine. That's mine. What can I say? But nowadays I don't have that mentality where, you know, where I see something and then I have that finders keepers mentality. Like, nah, fuck that. You see what I'm saying? You really don't know these days, and you don't know what could happen and stuff like that. So man's trying to play it smart, but at the same time, everything happens for a reason. And who would have thought, like, years later, I would end up doing a review of this album or mixtape. And I believe one guy in my class, in college was in PDC, I believe. I'm not particularly too sure, but I definitely know there were a few, you know, members of PDC that went to the same college as me, was interested. And another interesting story was, I want to talk about the mixtape and stuff like that with the album, but there's another story. I remember in year 7 or year 8, I remember, like, everyone in class, just bear in mind I went to an all-boys school, right? And what was interesting was they were talking about gangs and stuff like that. And I felt out of place, innit? So I'm like, yeah, I'm in a gang, because this is the thing about, the one thing you have to understand about life, right? And if I don't know if you're a parent watching this, but let's just say you are a parent watching this, and you're raising a boy, especially a black boy or whatever, and you're raising him, doesn't matter whether in South London or anywhere in the world, you have to, in fact, let's just say in London, because I know London there is a particular problem. I used to believe it was a rites of passage to be in a gang and you know, not only just be in a gang, but go to prison as a man. I thought it was a rite of passage. I don't know why, but the whole gang thing, like, I wanted to be in a gang, innit? Like, not because I wanted to be a bad boy or anything like that. It's because simply I didn't want to feel like I was missing out. I wanted to feel like I was a part of something. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be validated by, you know, the group of people around me in school. It is what it is. That's how it goes. Peer pressure and that. Now, funny thing is, yeah, I remember saying, this is what's so fucking bad. I just clocked something. The same guy I was talking to who asked me the question, what gang are you in then? Like, what gang are you in then? I'm like, PDC. And he's like, you ain't no PDC. You don't know. Name people from PDC then. Like, you want so mad? I couldn't name anybody in PDC, yeah? It's fucked. It is fucked. Like, and the mad thing is, what was interesting is, I tried to name some names, I believe, and I didn't. I think like, I can't remember what the reaction was. Like, you're not in PDC, blah blah blah. I'm like, I think I admitted in the end that, no, obviously I'm not obviously, but I just want to be in a gang, innit? And I remember we created our own thing, innit? Like our own little crew. I think it was like BDC, Boydham Crew, or something like that. Like, if I could put up the book here, or even my shirt, I believe in my shirt you will see BDC. Oh shit, I should have got it prepared. Fucking hell. But it's crazy anyway. And we didn't do any, you know, so-called what is associated with being gangs and all that stuff there. It was just being in a collective, innit? Just group of friends and stuff like that. And so yeah, that was interesting. But anyway, that same guy, I remember in college. Now I don't know whether he was in PDC or not. But one thing I do know is he did tell me, well, when I wanted to change my financial situation and stuff like that, because it was frustrating looking for a job, blah blah blah. And to cut a long story short, I thought he used to bully me in school, innit? But anyway, he told me I bullied him. But anyway, the joke is that same guy, yeah. Like, I was like, I know you're into these type of things, innit? I'm not gonna say what details, but I'm like, can you help me? Blah blah blah. Like, I could, but it's not. Like, I'm just paraphrasing. Like, I could, but these things ain't for you. Once you're in it, you can't get out of it. And I was like, yeah, but you don't know, but I'm not gonna let that happen to you or something like that. You see what I mean? So it's interesting how life works out. Imagine I'm saying, man's in PDC. You see what I mean? Well, I'm not like that high, but yeah, I'm in PDC. And then I end up going to college years later with finding that CD. Like, it literally came to me. Like, literally came. Like, look at me. I'm talking 8 minutes on my journey and experience with this whole PDC situation. But anyway, let's get back to the thing. I don't have a particular. In fact, you know what? Because obviously I like to take some songs out of context or in context. It is what it is. But let's just talk about that then. Let's continue on with the conversation in regards to, you know, being in gangs and all that stuff and why people drain. It's not necessarily because they want to partake in street robberies or any type of robbery or crime or anything like that. Some drain at a young age, either because they got an older brother or because of just they just want to be it's either peer pressure or, you know, the feeling of wanting to be a part of something. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's absolutely crazy. Like, I'm very fortunate, yeah. This is not to shun anyone that's been in a crew or gang or anything like that has done certain type of things, but I'm very fortunate to be able to come out of an era like that, yeah, and not be in a gang, like a gang that is crime affiliated and all that stuff there. Like, very, very fortunate. And on top of that, man was raised in foster care, and there is a high statistic of guys that are in foster care, yeah, that end up in gangs, end up doing criminal stuff and all that stuff there because of the pressure of society and all that stuff there. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, man was in foster. Like, let's deep this for a minute, right? The only reason why I asked that guy, yeah, about helping me pattern up that situation to do certain things is simply because I needed money, right? Because I was living by myself. And the joke is, yeah, living by myself is simply because of the way it is structured. When you're 18, as far as I know, I think it's when you're 18 to 21, around those ages, but when you're 18, you have to live by yourself, right? I was not prepared, either mentally or financially at least, to live by myself. Yeah? This is no disrespect to my foster mother, and no disrespect to my personal advisor or social worker, whatever the case is. I just wasn't prepared, right? But if it was me like either as a social worker or as a personal advisor or as a foster parent or whatever, I would prepare that person, that young child or whatever, or the youth or whatever, to get a job. Yeah, I would make sure that when they are 16, as soon as they leave school, they will get a job. Because that was my thing. It was difficult for me to get a job. I don't think you understand. It was fucking difficult. I don't, till this day, I do not know why. I remember one time, yeah, where I think I discussed it in another video, but I remember one time, yeah, I'm not gonna say the name of the company, but it was local to near where the adolescent aftercare service team was. But like, I went with them to find out with one person, I'm not gonna say her name, but she's like, oh, how come you never got a job or something like that, or never got an interview? And then they said, oh, because they're looking for someone with experience. And she's like, yeah, but how can he get experience if you're not going to give him the chance to get experience? Do you see what I mean? Like, it's fucking mad. Like, these situations, and the fact that man's a young man, in it, man was, like, those college days, you, like, there's a pattern as well. Like, the girl them, yeah, you're chasing girl, you want to look good for girl, you want to make sure your gowns are fresh, yeah? That was my vibe. I wanted to make sure I was always fucking fresh. So even when I got £30 from EMA, I spend it on clothes and all that stuff there. Even though it was like £30, but there were some things I could pattern up with. Like, even if I saved up for a couple of weeks and I was able to do my thing, and then I think they were like a bonus as well. So I was able to do my thing. But anyway, yeah, it's fucking mad. So you're looking at all that stuff there, and obviously I've got to pay bills and all that stuff there. Like, it's fucking mad. It's mad. So if you're not, like, whether you're in care or not, yeah, the pressures of society or living in Western society, if you are not prepared correctly, like I said, there's no disrespect to parents or anything like that. If you're not prepared correctly, there is a high chance that you could end up falling into situations, do you see what I mean, where you end up in a gang or that does criminal activity and all that stuff there. It's fucking mad. It's mad interesting. But I've spoken for way too long than I should have. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to the album. The link to the album or the mixtapes in the description box below. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Because sometimes randomly on a random run, I'm like singing a hook to PDC for Life in my head. Like, randomly. Like, I don't know why. I wasn't even in PDC, but I'm singing PDC for Life. And I'm saying PDC for Life, Bang Bang Anyway Gang. Okay, they don't really say Bang Bang Anyway Gang in any of the songs, as far as I remember. But I do remember in college. Was it in college? In fact, yeah. And I think even with the DVDs and stuff like that, they were saying Bang Bang Anyway Gang. Which is interesting. And one thing I do want to say as well, I want to big up Jazz of Souls, one of the head honchos who turned PDC around into something positives and all that stuff there. I don't think he gets enough credit as it is. I don't even think PDC themselves, all those involved with doing the whole entertainment and music and stuff like that, get enough credit for helping develop the UK scene as far as like hip hop is concerned, as far as rap is concerned. I mean, yeah, big up Rodney P and Ty and who else, and all the pioneers there, like the proper pioneers. But if you're talking about street stuff, You know, obviously some people big up gigs and SM1, which is good, don't get me wrong. But as far as I know as well, you know, Jazza Souls, everyone at PDC deserve a lot of credit. I think he even opened up a studio to help other young people and stuff like that. And yeah, he deserves a lot more credit on his name. Like, he's changed his life around and tried to help other people change their life around. Obviously, you can't help everyone. And I'm not going to talk too much on a particular person, but like, cause I don't know the proper ins and outs, and man, don't do this gossiping thing. But I'm just letting you know, it's a great example that you can turn your negative situation into something positive. You see what I'm saying? So big up Jazza Souls and everyone at PDC and all that stuff there. Yeah, I don't know if I got a particular favourite. I guess PDC for life is my favourite. I'm always thinking in my head randomly. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want it to go over 20 minutes because it's going to take me hours to upload. But anyway, look, if you got any questions, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I don't think I've rated it, but yeah, 10 out of 10. It's good that it's like the classics, even like Reborn. Like, I like the way that that effect they have on it. When they're saying Reborn and all that stuff there. Anyway, even though it's a gun, I'm like, look, anyway, fuck it. Look, and then that's the other thing I was going to mention as well. Like, they put the gun, in fact, that was it. There's one particular song where they mentioned about they put the guns and the drugs and all that stuff in the system and all that stuff there. You see what I'm saying? So at first I used to think it was someone else that had that bar or whatever, and because at first I thought it was Rap Man, and I tried to look for it and I couldn't find it, and then now I remember when I listen back to this album, it's PDC. Now it makes sense. So like, they know, like, you see what I'm saying? I think I do remember Jazza Souls was talking about it in one particular interview. I can't remember the interview, but anyway. I'm getting way too ahead of myself right now, so let me just stay calm, stay focused, stay composed. But yeah, if you got any questions, oh shit, the link to the album or the mixtapes in the description box below. Go stream that, go buy that, do what you got to do. Pay homage to everyone at PDC, because trust me, without PDC, there would be no Harlem Spartans. Just remember that. Without PDC, like, if you're bigging up Lowski and Miz on Mac and all those people at Harlem Spartans and all that stuff there, who else is there? Like, if you're bigging up, I can't even think of names right now, but if you look at the UK drill scene, especially like from South London or let's just say Brixton, then you have to pay homage to PDC. There is no them without that. Even though it's not UK, even though this is PDC, Parade Exchange is not UK drill, but at the same time, they're still talking about street shit. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, if you've got any questions, any topics you'd like for us to discuss in our videos, go ahead, leave that in the comment section below. And remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, because you never know, the video you suggest might just be next.